Good morning, welcome to Tristar Diggin. I appreciate you joining us today. We are at Community Fellowship Church, and we got a little project here today. It's stripping off some ground here that the church bought to extend the parking lot. So I brought the dozer to do most of the work, and I brought the skid steer just in case I get to a point where I can use it to do some dressing up and tidying up. But most of the work today is going to be done with the dozer. And there's an entrance right here that has an existing culvert tile in it, and property line is right there where that red marker is, and then obviously the church owns all that back to that way. So it's narrow as it goes down, and then when it gets to another stake down there, it opens up and goes back to the right and goes all the way back to a set of railroad tracks back there. But what we're going to work on today is stripping off the topsoil area here to expand the parking lot, and let's get started. All that topsoil skimmed off now and got a big pile there in front of the dozer, and I'm going to do some slot dozing, which I've talked about in videos in the past. Basically what slot dozing is you start pushing down through there and you're spilling material off each side till you get to where you're dumping at. Then you drop it and you come back and you make those passes. Eventually what happens is you build sideboards inside that trough. You're building a trough down through there. You can push a lot more dirt inside a trough with banks than you can just single pushes. That's the plan, to get all that dirt down there in that hole, and with all that area that we're going to take off back in there behind there as well. Take just a minute here and talk about utilities. Know that there is a power line and a cable line here and a water line. So here's the water meter box. We got the cable line coming down the pole and got the power line coming down the pole. What has taken place here is the church didn't own this property to the right when this house was built. They bought it since the house was built. So we got cable line and power line running in a ditch down there to that power pole where there's a transformer and there's a cable box down there. Now the water line is right here, and there's a defined ditch that the water line follows over there to the house. So I'm staying off of that. I know that's probably about 18, 20 inches deep, so I'm not going to get into that. Leave that alone. I'll dress that up with skid steer. Down here where the dozer's at, I've got it parked exactly in the way to show you what I want to show you. But anyway, see there from that power pole and the transformer box, there's a ditch that comes across through here, and you can really see it right through there. going to the house. So I've dug down here and started a hole to find the utilities. And right now my hole is 30 inches deep. And so I know I'm in the ditch. I'm in some topsoil, mixed topsoil, and water has got in here. I know I'm in the ditch, so I started probing around with this probe, and I found it. If you hear that thump, 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 that thump, thump, thump is conduit. That's right over there. And based on that 30-inch hole and the fact that right there is where the bottom of the hole was, let's see what that is. Let's see what that is. That's another 12 inches. So that is 42 inches deep to that electrical conduit right there. Now then, you see the big topsoil pile I have here from up in there. And man, oh man, that is some good stuff right there. Excellent topsoil. That'd make a beautiful yard for somebody. The plan is we're going to push it off. There's a depression just past where we're going to be clearing all this land. We're going to put that topsoil in there and spread it out, make it look nice. But and all this topsoil from here is going to be going over there as well. Did a little bit more digging and probing. I actually dug down a lot deeper there. It was getting that thump, thump, thump good, and I was down to it, but the water was filling in the hole, so I couldn't see if it was conduit for the electrical or conduit for the cable. So anyway, what I did, just to be on the safe side, make sure that cable wasn't plowed in, I centered up the ditch for that electrical and went 1.5 feet on each side of that, digging a cross section of this line going this way, just to make sure that wasn't plowed in maybe 1 foot deep. And I think we are good to go now with that. I'm still going to be careful in this area not to take nothing off but the topsoil, just in case it was plowed in and I missed it up here. All right, we're going to put you up in the drone for just a few minutes, and while we do some of this slot dozing and get this dirt pushed down there. Dip down, fly you over the top of the dozer here and show you what I mean by the slot. So now then, I'm going to fly you right through here, and you see how the sideboards are on both sides. That keeps the dirt on the blade and in front of it. And I got to about right here, and this is where I need to lower my blade and start pushing that on down through there. But that gives you an idea of what slot dozing looks like. and we'll fly through it from the back side. This is some good pushing dirt. It's kind of a sandy soil and it is rolling off that blade like candy. Love this kind of dirt. Good progress on stripping this topsoil off. And I was coming down through here getting ready to make another pass and I saw a nice little surprise somebody left for me. There's an orange piece of wire right here that I was not expecting to be there at all. And here's the original ground with just barely a little bit of grass taken off. That wire was 2 inches below the ground. Unexpected. What I'm going to do, and it's running at an odd angle. It's running at an odd angle, almost like towards the building. I'm not thinking it's the cable wire, but I'm gonna follow the wire and see where it goes that way, and then I'm going to follow the wire this way and get an idea where it's going. I am very thankful. Thank you, Lord, that I did not cut that in two. Been digging on that for just a second, and you see how it's turning here and it's curved and going up. Looks like it's going to go towards that house. It's not very deep, so I think I'll just go ahead and expose it all the way up through there and then figure out where it's going this way as well. I'll get that done and bring it back. We'll see what happens with it. Been doing a little digging there for a few minutes, and no doubt it's going up to that house, and our mystery wire is a mystery no more. So that wire was going this way towards the church building here. Then I got to right here, it takes a dog leg to the left, and now it's pretty obvious it's going to that pedestal for that cable box right there. It's kind of weird they come out here to the angle and then went around that way. And I got into it a little bit with my shovel. I got into the coax part of it, the outside shielding, and didn't cut the wire, thankfully. and I got that temporarily put back together. We'll have to call in for a relocate of this line. Obviously, you can't have a parking lot here, cars running back and forth across this line. Well, I was dozing right along and I saw something that needs to be checked out. I tell you right now, when you see something like that and you're in a dozer, it makes your stomach hurt. I realized pretty quick it was a root once I got out, but I saw that orange on that root and I just knew I'd rolled up a cable line. I guess that's what I get for calling the pastor this morning and telling him I hit a 3-inch Tell him I hit a 3-inch water line that went through the property. I let him in on the joke pretty quick because it was dead silence on the phone. He wasn't saying anything. So anyway, I guess seeing that root was my payback. I hope that's all I'm going to get anyway. At the end of day one, we'll take a look around. There's the spoil pile as it is building up quick. Doesn't take long to start filling in there pretty fast. But it'll take shape once I get all of it in there and I'll shape it up nice. Well, day two is about to begin. Day one ended with a dead battery, so I didn't get to show you the end of the day progress, but I'll do that this morning. Get this skid steer started because first thing I want to do is dress up this entrance, get the topsoil off of this, and I'm thinking I may even leave grass up here in the front on each side of the road unless they want me to take that off. But this is the progress for day one. I got all the topsoil stripped off this area here and pushed down to that area, and then I started stripping the topsoil off this little dog leg back to the right. It's looking pretty good other than that mystery wire that we now know is a cable wire, and we've called in for a relocate on that. Hopefully they'll get that done at some point, which who knows when that'll get done. Anyway, the dozer is down there in the woods. I'm gonna walk down there and get that as well, and we're gonna get started. As I'm taking a walk down here to pick up the dozer out of the woods, we'll take a look at what I got done on the first day. That's that area I started stripping, and that's gonna strip all the way over to the fence you see there. And then this is my spoil pile. I'll dress all this up once I get the all the topsoil off and all the dirt down in here. Make it look nice and natural. I hid the dozer down here in the woods, but I created a long walk for myself to go down here and get it. Started this job on Tuesday and it came a flood and rain Wednesday, all day Wednesday, and then yesterday, Thursday, spent most of the day the wind blowing and the sun shining. It dried it out pretty good, so we are back on Friday. Hopefully I get this finished today. As I sometimes do, I forgot I left the skid steer warming up. It ain't been running too long. It'll be good and warm by now. I'm just gonna go ahead and shut that down since I've started dozing, and I'll do that cleanup later on today. I'm glad I got out of the dozer to reposition the camera and able to hear this thing running. It would have been running for a while, I guess, if I hadn't. Now we're not wasting fuel anymore. Let's go back to work. Bit of time-lapse action there to just show you how quickly the dirt can pile up on you. Now then, I got to change directions here and I got to push this stuff off down into there. So pushing it this way and then pushing it that way. And the trouble is going to be when I'm pushing, if I put you on the dozer, you're right in the sun. I think I'll set you up down here somewhere on this building, and that might help a little bit. This ground is still wet, pretty wet actually, and it's just hard to push wet dirt. The weight of it, it's heavier, the dozer can't get traction, it don't spread out good. But you know what? It's got to be done, so we're just going to keep on going. Let's take a look around for an update at the end of day 2. There was a big mound of dirt right here that was blocking water from going past it to get water into a drain right there. So I got all that dressed up now and fixed where all the water really from up the road about over to where the corner of that fence is down to the corner of that dirt where I'm cutting out will now come into this drain and go out. The rest of it on the other side of this little hump right here will go just free flow down the hill there. I got a bunch more of this cut out now, and I've got a little bit more to go. What you see needs to be cut there all the way over the fence. That's got to come out and be put down there where my spoil pile is as well. And I dressed this up a little bit more, took a little bit more of this, skimmed the topsoil off that. Pushed a lot of dirt today, and so next week we'll do some work. This is Friday. We're supposed to get storms tonight into Saturday morning. Rain Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday of next week. I doubt I'll be here next week. I don't know when I'll be back. But when I do, I will come back and get some more of this work done. Hopefully, you know, I had a little too optimistic this morning thinking I could finish this today. It was wet, it was heavy, hard to push, and a lot more topsoil than I really thought there would be. As a matter of fact, let's take a look at how much topsoil there is. And there's still a little bit to go down right here, but now I'm getting into clay here. But you can see on that corner how much there is. There's probably another 4 inches got to come out that's topsoil. Just a lot of it. And it's good topsoil too, but it's going to be down there in a spoil pile and dressed up and re-sown with grass. If for any reason the church needed some topsoil for another project, they've got it, that's for sure. Well, let's go home and see what next week brings.